So what I'm doing here is kind of giving you a little insight into my process of writing a new podcast. And I've got two cameras. I've got one over here, and I also have one back there. And we'll see what happens. I just want to record a little bit of this intro here, and I'm going to jump to Microsoft Word and kind of evolve a little bit of the podcast. Won't do the whole thing. Usually it takes me about an hour to write the whole thing. I'll just dabble here for about 20 minutes, and then we'll go on from there. So I have a beginning. Um, I'm always trying this series 2, to have more of a um, catchy beginning. And so I've already written that. I was lying in bed one night and I thought, I need to catch a beginning, and then it came to me. So when people say TMI, they generally mean too much information. But when I hear that phrase, I flash back to March 1979. And I remember vividly hearing the fear in the woman's voice on the phone, asking if I thought she should evacuate the area and take her baby to safety. We'd received no orders to evacuate, but how could I tell her to just sit tight if she was so panicked? So, this is about 3 Mile Island. I also have some notes here, and I'm going to just jump in here and do a little bit of dictation, and we'll see where it goes. I remember as a kid, there was a big, almost celebration one time when one of the giant reactor containers was being brought through York, Pennsylvania. It was like a parade. People were lined up everywhere on the street to watch this thing roll through. And I do have some photographs of it as well. So, um, 3 Mile Island, nuclear power, seemed like a great idea. And that's the problem with the dictation thing, because it shuts off by itself. So 3 Mile Island, comma, nuclear power, comma, seemed like a great idea. Stimulate the economy, give us electricity, it's great. Period. And then we flash forward to 1979. I'm in my second year of college. Took me a little time to decide that I wanted to go. That's another story into itself, period. But I was hanging out with some friends, and we heard about this 3 Mile Island incident. We didn't really know much about it. Period. Period. But there seemed to be some difficulty with one of the containers in Reactor 2. Period. As it turned out, we would find out a whole lot more over the next several days. Period. I remember being on campus, and this wise ass walks up to Ed, my friend Ed, and he says he has this great idea, period. He wants to get a dead bird and put it on the pavement, period. And then he's going to run up and go, oh my God, the radiation got it, period. Yeah, that would have been really funny. Not so much. Period. New paragraph. And what I'm doing here is kind of just free associating some stuff. I'll shape it up later. So we're not thinking too much about it, and we decide we're going to have a party Friday night, comma. But in the meantime, things seem to be getting a little more dire, period. But we go on with the party plans, period. Ed's house is the usual hosting location for this party, period. He has gotten the typical party beer for him, hyphen. This is Mickey's Big Mouth Beer. That's beer, not deep. with its wide-mouth bottle, was always known to me as the beer you can French kiss, period. The usual people were in attendance that night, period. There's my then girlfriend, comma, friends of Ed's and mine, comma, and another girl named, let's call her Dawn for the purposes of the podcast, period. As it turns out, I found the cassette with Dawn's vocals, and I'm going to include that in the podcast, cut up a little bit so you don't have to listen to all of it from beginning to end, because it's kind of repetitious. So here I am months later trying to put this together in some kind of coherent video. I hate the fact that it got out of synchronization, so that doesn't really work for us. But hopefully this gives you a little idea of what my process is like when I'm writing a new podcast.